Yo, heave ho, heave ho.
That's right. Welcome back to the Flagmantle podcast. It's episode 36, mate.
Oh, you got it right.
I got it
Surprise.
right. I'm so happy
well
with
done.
myself. But, mate, it doesn't stop there, mate. We've got a wonderful guest who I've been trying to target to get onto the podcast for quite some time. A lot of waffle blokes, anyone around footy in general may have heard of this bloke. He's rising through the ranks at Swan Districts, and he did an amazing job in the WA side for the under 19s or under 18s, I'm pretty sure, Stu, but who cares? It's Riley Hardeman from the Swan Districts Football Club, mate. How you going?
Gentlemen, how are we?
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
No, mate, it's my pleasure, mate. This is going to be held against you when you when you become a St Kilda fan or a St Kilda player or a Richmond, wherever you get picked up, mate. But this is going to be something that's will pick you apart in terms of your footy brain. And we're going to get to know you a little bit. Isn't that right, Stu?
Yeah, I think this is a good opportunity to learn a bit about you, especially for Freo fans. Obviously, we target WA players every year, and that's you this year. So welcome onto the podcast. Rielke, what have we got first up?
Mate, well, first off, let's just get to know a little bit about Riley, mate. This is what, your second interview, I think? Second interview?
Like second, public sort of podcast, I think.
So you're kind of in the rookie stages, you could admit, but this is going to be coming very familiar. Rated quickly in the AFL top 20, Kaltumi, top 20 in the draft.
He does all that, Cal Toomey.
Don't worry, that's him.
Yep.
But you rated number 18, so let's start off with that. Thoughts in terms of coming up through the ranks. You're a Caversham Suns man, so I'm a junior footy umpire, and umpiring Caversham, one of my favourite teams to umpire. Very talented. They won a premiership a few years back, didn't they? Like 3-peat?
Yeah. That probably wasn't our team. I think it was a little bit controversial at the time.
Upper Swan. Yeah, that's it.
But we did win one in year 8, so I will pencil that one down.
You penciled that one
Yeah.
down? Oh, don't worry. Were you like the main contributor factor in that?
Oh, look, I played a support role on the wing. I wouldn't say
No.
main contributor. Nah.
So main contributor, you racked up. Let's have a look at the stat record. That was
God.
46 disposals.
Go back
3
to grade 8
goals.
stats.
That's
So
it. That's
Riley,
kick.
before we get to know you as a person, we wanted to let the fans get to know you as a player first. And so my first question is, what are your strengths and weaknesses on the field?
I think probably my main strengths are probably my speed and endurance, and how I sort of use that as a combination in order to burst away from packs at speed, and then probably on top of that, my kicking. Love using my left foot out of half-back, mainly a half-back, a few occasional stints, cameos on the wing. But I do like running out of the defensive 50 and trying to break the game apart with the left foot.
Oh, mate.
Do you prefer the wing or the half back, do you reckon?
I probably prefer the half-back, but in saying that, it's probably, wouldn't mind stint on the wing at AFL level. I wouldn't mind a stint
Ooh.
anywhere, but
That's the right answer. Very good, mate. Nice.
I definitely feel at home on half-back though, that's for sure.
Oh, hang on a second. Fremantle calling for a winger. Liam Henry, the dog who went over. Sorry, the bloke who
You
went
can't
over.
say that in a podcast with a future AFL player. This
sure he
podcast
doesn't
has to be
mind.
clean.
Yeah,
okay?
it was me who
Has to be
said
clean
that.
cut.
It was me who said
I know,
that.
but it's still association, so
He could be a potential teammate, so
Oh,
He
be very
could.
careful.
Oh no.
No.
Oh no.
yeah, no
We'll
Liam
say
Henry
it
hate
very-
here.
Well,
We
I'm
don't know where you're going.
Fremantle, we already know, but back onto what I was saying about the
Yep,
winger.
Go
Sorry.
for it.
Fremantle, they need a winger, mate. They've been trying to find one for a little while, and meaning little, since Ed Langdon. And let's not get on to
Brad
Langdon.
Hill,
Brad Hill, mate.
Lockie Weller. Yeah, it's been a rough time for Freo wingers, but in
Is there any
saying that,
sorry.
No,
Sorry.
go for it, buddy. Go for it, pal. Hit me.
Riley, mate, is there any wingers that you look up to? Just a curious question. Because you're a defender winger. Like, is there you can have one of each, like one defender you look after, or just both. You can have one. Hayden Young could be a guy on the wing soon. Just a curious one, mate.
Yeah, so fun fact, you mentioned Hayden Young. So AFL interview comes up, they ask, who do you model your game on? Who do you like to watch? My first one's usually Hayden Young.
Lovely.
We're both the left footers off the half back. I mean, I probably couldn't move into the midfield and do what he did. I'm a bit scrawny, but...
No, mate. Don't
Not
worry.
yet, not
The 3
yet.
wheat Bix per day are coming very, very soon. All summer, 3 weeks per morning and gym, right? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, I haven't seen the inside of a gym in some time. But in saying that, I'm sure
Same here, mate. Look at me.
once we move into the AFL system, the gym will become a lot more familiar. But I love what Hayden Young does.
Love that. Well, with trying to get your body up to AFL standard, do you know any stories or any mates of yours who have in the AFL system? I think I remember a photo with you and Elijah Hewitt. I think there was. I scoured your social media. I wasn't stalking, not at all. Elijah Hewitt, he was obviously at the West Coast Eagles right now. So have you approached any AFL current footballers who you've tried to get any pre-tips or tips in general on trying to get into the AFL?
I don't think I've sort of reached out to anyone, but what has happened was through the AFL Academy, which I was fortunate enough to be part of. I was able to spend a week, just like a day in a life sort of thing, with the West Coast Eagles. So with that, I was pretty much granted unlimited access. I was training with them. I was doing gym sessions, recovery, and I got buddied up with Elijah Hewitt and Ruben Jimby, which were obviously previous teammates with the WA State Academy. But what I was able to see is sort of an insight into what they were doing, and what I could tell was they both got absolutely huge. And I think probably looking to this year, and both with Rising Star nominations, there's no surprise because they worked really hard over that pre-season, and I was able to sort of replicate what they were doing at AFL level in my own.
Nice, mate. And they're household names now, pretty much.
Yeah, they're huge.
They're huge. So, I know they've got 2 West Coast and they've got 2 household names
That's
coming
all
through the
right.
ranks, but
It's okay.
a little bit of buzz. Hey,
Yeah,
none of that.
It's fine.
Fremantle needs some of that. Any team would be grateful to have your services, mate.
Speaking of services for next year, just a quick little question about what you believe your role in 2024 could be for an AFL team. Obviously, each team is different. Not every team are giving out games to rookies. Do you think you would have much of a say on a team's performance next year?
It's a very interesting question. I think different teams sort of aim for different things. They're looking for different things, and they're sort of seeing, what your strengths, what your weaknesses are. I've had a few club interviews where they go, you'd make it as a half forward. I haven't kicked a goal in my life. I remember I got it would have been about 3 weeks ago, set shot, like directly out in front, 25 metres out. I got it from a 50-metre penalty against Claremont, and I've pushed it like well left. I'm like, that's why backmen don't kick goals. I stay and try and defend them.
umpire,
Exactly.
Sorry.
You're right.
Did the umpire have to, give the free kick, or what was happening?
So, I don't know. I think I might have got holding the ball 75 metres out, and then someone's overstepped the mark. I'm trying to handball it off.
Yeah.
I don't want anything to do with it that close in front of goal, and he's called the 50, and I've absolutely, butchered the kick.
Butchered.
Like, off the
You
boot.
win Clanger of the Week. Nice. Sorry, I had to. Sorry, ladies.
Had to, yeah.
You're right.
No, and that's fair enough. But going back to your question, I think there's a lot of scope for me to go anywhere, but personal preference says that I'd like to stay at halfback. I feel like that's where my attributes and where I prefer to play best suited.
Mate, what did Will Schofield say again about, halfbacks, defenders?
Backmen win premierships.
Yeah.
Midfielders sign
sponsors and forwards.
Sell memberships.
Sell
That's
memberships.
the
Yeah, he's on
one.
the ball.
Yeah.
That's it. And guess what Fremantle need? Yeah, it's pretty obvious.
All of the above.
A
A premiership.
premiership, yes. Yeah.
No, it was defence, mate. Come on. We need defence.
Well, okay, buddy.
I'm sorry. I'm going to do this the whole episode. So, Riley, prepare yourself, mate. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, don't worry.
No.
Passionate.
This is also one, just because we're touching on your junior career, Caversham Suns, going through Swannies. Tell us a little bit about this. But, coming through the ranks, were there any times you may have got a yellow or a red? And do you think the AFL sort of, needs to bring this up to the big leagues? Because I honestly think, as an umpire myself, these need to be implemented with some of the acts that go around. What's your thoughts, mate?
My thoughts, I'll start with my personal opinion, and that's I'm a lover. I'm not a fighter. Usually I'm making, light, nice conversation with my opponents. I'm not really one for the biffos. I mean, I'll get around it. I'll be the stopping force in the middle. I'll push my arms out and go, nah, let's just break it up. Like that one, Harley Reid versus the whole of the WA team. I don't know if you guys saw that one. I was kind of like, yeah, all right, let's half time. Let's go take a break. But no, I love
the mediator.
Yeah, getting to know my opponents, and that sort of catches them off guard a bit, I think, and that's where I'm able to do a little bit of damage. But in terms of the AFL, yeah, they probably need to crack down on some of that behaviour. But
Chuck that down onto the resume.
Well, that's
in a
what Ryan
second.
Crowley actually did with his opponents. He was just way too nice to them, and that generally threw them off enough. So
Yeah.
I think, I don't know, just being a nice guy might do a little bit more damage than, getting in someone's face.
I think that's suggesting that you can become the next Ryan Crowley. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not
we're not going to
suggesting
put
that.
that
I'm not
expectation.
I don't know if I want that
Nah.
on the resume.
What,
Definitely not on the
Tagger?
resume.
Yeah, tagger, no.
Oh,
No.
we love a tagger. What's
There's
that?
been some good players that
Who's
have
that
been taggers.
fella from Hawks who just got publicly shamed by
Oh, Finn McGuinness.
by Goodwin in the press conference? It
Yeah,
was like,
that was shocking.
he hates the football, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, he got shamed, didn't
How
he?
much do you keep up with the AFL?
Yeah, I follow it pretty closely.
Yeah.
It's hard when you're a St Kilda supporter like myself.
Oh, no, mate. So let's touch on the Saints side. A little bit like Fremantle. I mean, obviously, you guys got the premiership, but, Fremantle been around for a long time. You guys have had a lot. We've had the same coach over the past a couple decades. So, long suffering. Where did this all start? Did your parents, was it mum or dad? Because we might touch on that in the questions.
Yeah, so we...
Let's start.
Fremantle and St Kilda supporters, we definitely share a little bit of trauma. I mean, you guys haven't got the premiership, but then again...
Wait, whoa.
Yeah, but hear me out.
Say that with a better
It was like 61 years ago. My father was, it was 13 years. No, not even. 13 years before he was born.
Oh, wow.
So we haven't seen one in a while, and I think I would have been 5 years old at the time, the 2010 grand final draw. That broke my heart as like a 5-year-old. Like I was... Yeah,
your emotions couldn't handle it, mate.
couldn't, and I just remember my relatives around me crying. I look at the screen and I'm like, oh no. And you hold that intergenerational trauma as a St Kilda supporter, and where that support for St Kilda's come from. Definitely dad's side of the family. So he was originally from Mornington, right in the heart of St Kilda.
Love that.
And yeah, you didn't really get a choice. So when they moved over, we were already Saints supporters because
Love that.
yeah, I don't really have a stance on Fremantle or West Coast, but I think now that I'm on here, it's probably got to be Freo.
Oh, okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay,
Welcome to the bandwagon.
Yeah, I'm putting a pin on that in the podcast. I'm going to record that in script. Cut it up. You'll probably when you're seeing your parents crying at them, Mum, why are they crying at the TV? And bang, yeah, pretty much. That was Stewie in the 2013 grand final, wasn't it? Yeah.
There were tears.
There
were tears.
It was not tears,
I
they were
tell
floods.
you, were you watching footy around 2010 September grand final?
I
was.
Yeah, I was.
How was that for you?
That 2010 September grand final.
Yeah.
Mate, he can't remember that. He was in diapers, mate.
I
What are you
know,
talking
I
about?
know.
But I do vividly remember. I don't watch the footy, but I was watching the scoreboard and I'm like, oh dear, like we're in shambles here. And then watching the replay a week later, it's all vivid memory, but it's more like oh no, it's pretty important. If you see last time you see Dad cry, what is it, like 13 odd years ago?
Oh no, that is traumatic. Seeing your dad cry, and then that trauma,
That's a
traumatizes.
moment.
That
That's
is
like
a moment.
big moment in
That was
someone's life.
That was the last time I saw my dad cry. Was when I was about that age, when I called him.
Dads
I
are
think,
weird.
idiot, and he
Dads
cried.
are strange. What's your dad like?
He loves a chat, I think.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he probably, if he didn't do that knee all that time ago, he'd be playing AFL, as most dads are. But no, he's on a serious note, he's a real support for me. He actually works FIFO, so I'm only really seeing him 2 weeks out of 3. But it's been like that most of my life, and he's always had a very invested interest in my footy.
Shout out to Mr. Hardman, working hard.
Working
and
very hard.
Up north, down south, wherever he goes. But, that's great to know that he's got a little bit of a footy background, because I did see an upcoming question with how about do you play your football as good as your father did? It may have been your dad who sent that, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see.
Maybe.
We'll see very shortly. I'll have a few comments for that one, I feel.
Yeah, just a few, mate. Stewie, what do we got next? We've got
Right.
we've got a few
So
more.
we sort of know you as a player, and we're getting to know you a little bit more as a person. You talked about Hayden Young earlier being a bit of someone that you looked up to, someone that you sort of, I like this part of his game. I think I can do that as well. Are there any other role models that you grew up, whether it be a football player, a singer, your parents? Is there anyone that inspired you on this journey to the AFL?
Probably one that comes to mind real early on is, so I'm pretty huge on my reading. I love my biographies. And as a Saints supporter, you can't go past Lenny Hayes, absolute club champion. It was always about the team and never about himself. And reading his biography would have been as early as 13 years old. You just kind of got a sense for what his character was and, sort of how it related to his longevity in the AFL. He never tasted that premiership success. But still, like, he did the club thing through and through, and something to admire. So it's probably the huge one. I didn't really have many role models away from the football scene.
Yeah, right. I've got a note down here that Rielke has made me write.
No. What was it? Please don't know.
Apparently, you two live pretty close to each other.
Wait.
Is what I've heard.
Hang on a second. Are you emphasising that I've met this bloke before in my lifetime prior to this podcast? Yes.
Maybe.
Well, okay.
Maybe.
Let's just.
I'm gonna let Riley.
Okay.
I'm gonna let him talk.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say the suburb. We're gonna.
No, we can.
Is that okay?
EB ways.
Of
EB
course.
ways.
Yeah,
right?
up in the Swan Valley, the hood.
Fallonbrook.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a great
Every
one.
weekend. I love it. It's good. Yeah, but good old Riley. I'll let you take it away, mate.
Yeah. What are your thoughts about growing up in that area, and has that changed the person or the player that you are becoming?
I don't think. I was originally from Swan View before I made a move over to the Henley Brook, the Ellenbrook area when I was about year 4, so 11 years old.
Welcome to the good side, buddy.
Yeah,
Swan View's somewhere else.
Yeah, so Swan View's, anything's a step up from Swan View is from my personal experience anyway. But growing up in the hood, growing up in Ellenbrook, I don't know if it's changed much. You just kind of... keep looking down at your feet and you keep walking to school.
Pretty much. You just make sure you...
Straight on.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, which, goes back to into the hood. I, said prior, I've worked at Thirsty Camel, bumped into this bloke a couple of times, only a couple. You're a good, responsible drinker, mate. So don't stress. We've bumped into a few times at the bottle shop. We've bumped into your mate, Evan. Horse's an upcoming potential drafty. He's a great bloke and also a great friend of yours, I presume. So Tell us a little bit about this friendship.
Evan Smith, the big unicorn, I like to call him, and there'll be a question in there later. He'll try to throw me off with something, I assume.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, 100%. Me and Evan, we always sort of came across each other growing up. He's a year younger, obviously, so I didn't really play him in community football, but sort of through the Swan District's programs, and I didn't really get close with him until probably about November of last year, where he actually gave me a job. He gave me a job, and how this came about. So I originally used to work at that Zambrero right next to the Thirsty Camel.
Shout out!
Yeah,
they make the best burritos of all time.
Yep.
No other Zambrero. Sorry, I'm getting carried away. Take it away.
Yeah, I reckon that'd be my girlfriend Jessica. She works there. She'll make your burritos, I'd say.
No way.
Yeah.
No way. Met? Wait, your girlfriend works? I don't even know. I didn't even know she worked there.
We'll get into her after. I'll keep talking about my boyfriend Evan Smith.
Your boyfriend Evan Smith.
So we got really close over that November period last year, sort of moving into the seniors preseason, and he gave me a job at the Vines Resort. So
good on him.
We're up working behind the bar there. His mum Kirsty's my manager, so very flexible hours, and it's fair to say we always get a shift together.
Yeah, just a few. Speaking of which, I did reach out to Evan before this podcast, and I needed to get a little bit of background information on yourself, mate.
Dear.
So he's sent in a couple of things. So speaking of which, we've gone into that golf story. Apparently, once at work, Riley and I put the food and drink bills through the till, but once he charged it to the wrong room and wrecked his confidence for the rest of the night. Is this familiar?
That's a terrible comment, Evan. Probably
Sorry,
this was 2 weeks ago, and I'll let you continue what he has to say, but I've got a story that you can use against him in his podcast. If not, I can bring it up now.
Oh my God, it is getting hot in here. Damn. Well, he did also say apparently also when he finally went to buy me something, his card declined, so we always used to call him stingy. But when he finally wanted to, he apparently had nothing in the bank.
You know what? I've got no defence there.
He's thrown you under the bus, mate. Oh my days.
I'm
he
broken.
has.
That's why I'm working for him and his mother. I need the money. My card declined. It would have been last Friday. Yeah.
You may be the last one laughing with that one, mate. And apparently, also, there's a golf ball collection at work. Apparently.
There is a golf ball collection at work. So in the early days, myself and Evan, so there's a maintenance shed where we have to load up all the empty kegs and the recycling and everything. So we take the buggy down there, and essentially it's right on sort of the shank zone for the first tee of the Ellenbrook course at the Vines. So if you hook it really bad, or if you slice it really bad, or it just comes off terribly, it'll land in that little lake sort of forest area. And what we love to do at 7 o'clock at night when there was absolutely no one on there, we'd scour for golf balls.
Oh my days. Oh my God.
Probably not really good talking about this. His mother will be listening, I assume.
Oh, no.
But we
Can't
did
have
this, would have been 2 days ago on Sunday when it was not busy, and I think we found about 10 pretty premium quality balls. So that's a fun pastime we like to do at work.
You know what would be a cool thing? You know, as a golfer, you know, you never know. There's a few golfers out there, but you know, imagine Riley Hardeman, you know, just collecting those golf balls out there, and he can make some money off this. I think this is a good opportunity for you, Riley. You can
sell
send
those,
send these off to the golf club and just be like, hey mate, I found these.
It's
Pay me.
it's definitely an avenue, but at the same time, I could just shank the balls when I play golf as well, and then it's sort of a recycling sort
Yes.
of
Don't have
work.
to pay for the golf balls.
Yeah.
Is that what happens? I'm not a golfer.
No,
So I
I'm
wouldn't
not a
know.
golfer either. I don't.
I
What
could
happens there? Do
hit
you have to
nothing.
buy balls if you lose them? They're just gone.
Yeah, but what I like to do is find those balls,
Yeah.
and I'm just sort of recycle. So I don't think I've paid for a golf ball yet, and I've been trying to play golf for a few months, or longer
Mate,
than that.
This is the mindset the AFL needs.
He's a hustler.
This is,
You're a hustler.
This is the hustler, and I
Yes.
think that's a
If AFL
big
football
attribute.
doesn't work out, there's always a career in finding golf balls.
and stand up comedy apparently as well. But
Allegedly.
allegedly. Well, I want to do something this quick. It's called Quick Fire.
Yeah.
It's just to get a little bit of a little get to know about you. I think Brian Ethan did one, but we've got a few. Stewie,
We like ours better. I'm sorry, Brain Ethan.
Sorry.
Love your podcast, but come on.
yeah, come on. This is Stu's sort of little thing. So blue, mate. I'll start off. Or do you want to start yellow?
Oh shit. Sorry.
Come
It's
on,
all
Stewie.
sort of come on. That is
Sorry. I just badmouthed Brain Ethan and then wasn't prepared.
that is shocking.
Yeah. What color? Yeah, I'm yellow. Okay. Number 1. Tell us about your journey in the AFL so far. What inspired you to pursue a career in this sport?
So I actually haven't made the AFL yet, but in saying that,
yeah.
I get exactly what you mean. So, I played for Upper Swan, pretty much until year 7. Go on, Stu.
Yeah, come on,
yeah,
Stu,
I'll keep
mate.
going. And then
With the
moved
AFL,
to moved to the Caversham Suns, in year 8 and played in a few finals, won a flag, and then sort of integrated into the Swan District's programs.
Nice.
So the 15s, the Futures, and the Colts. Started with the Colts in 2021 and was very fortunate to play in the grand final winning side on Optus Stadium.
Mate, that's a good experience.
As a 16-year-old, it's like a deer in headlights looking around Optus Stadium. Couldn't kick a ball to save my life in that warm-up. I was just like, oh,
What's going on? Yeah, the lights is crazy. Which AFL team do you support? This is one that's come through. Obviously, St Kilda. You said, but how did you become a fan with that? Just a quick one.
It was just a family thing. Everyone supports St Kilda, and if you didn't, you'd have to sleep outside.
Oh,
so
no.
it's St Kilda.
Oh no! What's your favourite AFL memory or game that you've attended?
I attended the grand final last year. It wasn't a very good game. I was able to play the curtain raiser to that game, so I actually got to play on the MCG on grand final day, which is what
nice.
most people can't say that I've done. So I've been very lucky
Wow.
with that. But
You
probably
played at the MCG on grand final.
I
day?
have, yeah, but I have not played in the grand final. But we're going to leave. We'll
Not-
leave that information to the side.
Yes.
But yeah, Geelong v Sydney last year. It was we were right in the middle of the Geelong crowd, and we were getting rowdy for Isaac Smith's Norm Smith performance. That was
Love it.
Yeah, we love that.
Unrelated.
Do you have a favourite AFL grand final moment? Obviously, besides St Kilda.
There have been
Sorry, I
no.
stitched you up, mate.
Probably as a WA supporter in general, you can't go past Dom Sheed.
Yes.
His grand final heroics. I know it probably
I was
hurts a
jumping
bit
up
as-
and down too. Don't
Yeah.
worry, it was
Were
pretty
you?
good.
Were you actually?
I was.
Just as a
Ouch.
WA footy fan, it's not necessarily anything toward the Eagles, but
No, I'm
yeah, it was-
everything against the Eagles. I'm a very Fremantle heavy fan.
So you
I
weren't happy
support
for the
Freo
2018
and
grand
whoever
final?
the hell is playing West Coast.
Oh
Those
my
are my
God.
teams for the week.
Oh my
going.
God, I love that. What do you enjoy most about watching AFL though? Like, what's the thing that gets you? You know, like, hey, I want to turn on the TV tonight. Like, what? Just like the game, just falling in love with it.
Yeah, I think initially I fell in love with the game, and then moving towards a potentially exciting period where that could be me next year. You sort of turn on the TV and you're like, oh, how would it be playing in front of 100,000 on Anzac Day or Grand Final Day or like Dream Time at the G? You watch games like that and you're like, oh, that could be me, and sort of motivates me to work a bit harder.
Yeah, that's a nice one.
Good answer.
Ooh, okay. What's the best AFL rivalry in your opinion?
Collingwood Essendon on Anzac Day is the one. Like, I like to sit down and watch. Like, I
you're a big
love
fan
that
of
one.
that.
Yeah, don't mind that at all. But you know, as a Saints fan, I don't mind watching sort of Carlton St Kilda games. Those ones are always pretty good. Although the last one hurt me a bit.
Oh, yes. Well, mate, Stu, you next.
As a Saints fan, what's your opinion on Ross the Boss?
Ross the boss.
Love him. Obviously, I was a bit hurt that he left in, I think it was 2011, but we're past that and he's back. And
The X is back, mate.
yeah, I mean, he's able to take us into an elimination final against GWS this coming Sunday or Saturday. I don't even know when it is.
I think it's Saturday.
We all
I
know
think.
where he will be at that time, Riley.
Yeah,
Riley, we
okay.
all know where you'll be,
in front
mate.
of the telly.
In front of the telly.
in front of the television. Yeah, I
At the
love
pub.
Ross the Boss. Yeah, not at the pub.
No.
No, I'll just
Home.
be drinking water at home.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
very smart
On the
decision.
cordials.
Good boy, yes,
Do you have
nice.
any AFL related traditions or rituals that you follow before games?
I don't really have any
Weird quirks.
yeah,
No, sorry.
weird quirks. I
Sorry.
maybe I do. You never know. No, we'll keep that information
Oh,
disclosed.
no. Oh,
Regardless,
no.
I think I love getting the notepad and pen out and just writing what goals I sort of want to achieve pre-game. I think I'm not a very good sleeper, so that helps me sort of settle down a little bit. So that's probably
No.
it's probably my little quirk,
Did you say your goal is to kick goals, or is that off the thing?
No,
Or did I miss?
I think you've completely
completely gone off.
misinterpreted. Yeah,
Sorry.
Come on, real
backmen
fast.
Sorry,
don't
sorry.
kick goals.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, backmen could kick goals.
Yeah, you just say
They can.
just say shut up,
Yeah.
real car, when I talk too much.
Yeah,
That's all
shut
you
up,
need to
real
do.
car. I want to ask you about a side of football I'm personally quite interested in, and that's the player management space. Obviously, we had a little chat before the podcast, and you informed us that you signed with TLA.
Yep.
Can you talk through your experience with signing through them and sort of what that process looked like for you?
Yeah, so I've signed with TLA, specifically Luke Morabito, and sort of that process came pretty early. It would have been October of 2021 after the Colts Grand Final, and I was sort of approached by I wasn't approached, it was more a few player agency sort of contacted Swan Districts and contacted my parents and said, they'd love to meet with you. So I would have had about 4 different meetings in total, and
It's pretty good, mate.
yeah,
Four?
it's all right. I think
You're so humble, mate. You're too good. You're too good, mate.
yeah, I think initially it was a really exciting process because it's they want you, they want to sign with you, they want to work with you, but it kind of wore thin towards the end. But what you do sort of figure out is what you really want in a player manager, and everyone has specifics. And I think with Luke, I just clicked with him really from the get-go, and just the sort of way he talks to me and the way we kind of set out our goals, he's been really good.
Shout out to Luke.
Luke Morabito, yep.
Nice. Morabito.
Yeah, great bloke.
Wait a second.
Fremantle Link.
Oh,
yes.
yes,
Yeah.
Fremantle Link.
Yes.
Sorry,
Yes,
I had
brother.
to say that. Yeah, nice.
Nice.
No sneaky links right there. Too sweet.
Have you had many interviews from AFL clubs just yet? Without saying who, of course.
Yeah, I've had, so out of the 18 clubs, I've communicated for at least 15 minutes with, I'd say, 17 of the 18 clubs. But I did get contacted today actually by the last club on that list, so I think I would have spoken or corresponded with all 18 clubs.
As most draftees within the top 20 of the AFL draft prospects would.
Yeah.
That's just, if you're any club in the AFL right now and you miss that opportunity, you're not a good recruiter. you're not doing your due diligence in work. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's gonna be interesting to see what time what happens around November, isn't it, mate?
Have you had any strange questions from clubs yet? Because I know there's always a few every year.
There's probably strange experiences more than strange
Right.
questions. So, one club specifically, and I think if any of the other boys listening, they'll pick up pretty quickly who this one is. So home visit, right? So I'm home visit with this club, and they all walk in. It's just me. There's no mum or dad. They're both at work that day, and we walk in, shake hands. Hey, how you going? We sit down, and complete silence. So they all
no.
So there's three of them, and they're just staring directly at me, and I'm kind of like, oh, okay, when are we gonna ask the questions? And then I'm like, okay, they want me to talk. So yeah, when I get nervous, when I'm on, well, I need to talk now. So I'm just small talk, like, oh, how do you guys reckon you're gonna go on the weekend? Or has it been really busy in the interviewing space? And after the while, they did start asking me questions, but it was awkward, and I think they just do it to see how you react. I don't know what gauge that gives you on a player's personality, but it's what they do.
It's what they do, and by the sounds of it, mate, you pretty much excelled because you weren't asking any questions like how's the weather today, and the ball looks pretty good, something like that. How do you do that sort of thing? Because I couldn't do that if that was in a interview room, isn't it?
No, it'd be hard. I mean, obviously we've had interviews for different kinds of jobs. Obviously not as cool as AFL player.
Obviously, I failed.
Yeah, me too.
'Cause
so
I'm still here.
I'm still here, but yeah, that is definitely a hard process to walk through. Do you ingest draft media? Do you know where you sit in the rankings and who's pitting you where, that sort of thing?
That's a great question, Stu. I think AFL media, like it's everywhere, and especially coming to the end of the season, it's definitely ramped up a bit, and I think I definitely try and keep all that external noise out. It definitely has a sort of scope to absorb you a little bit, and I think with some boys, I know there were a few last year, it really got to them, and I think it affects, like, you just wake up every day and you're like, oh, like, what are the media saying about me? Is it good or is it bad? But I think, yeah, more or less I try and keep well out of that space. Sometimes it's a bit enticing, like you see, oh, Cal Toomey's dropped his rankings, but you got to remember, and Cal Toomey's really respected within the industry, but he's also not an AFL recruiter, so he can have his opinion, but it could be something completely different. So you just got to take it with a grain of salt.
Well spoken, Riley, mate. That's a great answer to a great question. With this sort of draft time, and as you said, with looking up, stressing about going to your phone in the morning, but oh no, someone's written something bad about me, which they would never, mate. Or like something good, you never know. Do you think it's a good decision if you're an AFL prospect, to delete your social media, or do you think it's a good thing to stay? Do you think that's asking a prospect themselves, deleting their social media, maybe for that draft time,
or even privatizing it, that sort of thing. Is
privatizing
that something
it.
you've considered, or?
But you also want that that followers to go through the roof when you get drafted, though. So you never know.
Yeah, there may be a bit of that, but at the same time, I think it just depends on what type of person you are and how you sort of deal with that sort of external media stuff. I think I'm pretty fortunate in I can take it or leave it. Obviously you love when people say great things about you online, like it's awesome, but at the same time, you can't always take it seriously. You can't get complacent. Me personally, I think I'm okay enough to stay on social media, but maybe for some other blokes, that could be the move.
You can get that bombardment. That's really good, really good. Before we wrap it up, before we get into the questions, is there anything else, Stu, you'd like to touch on quickly, mate?
Not really.
We've got
you've spoken fantastically, by the way. Oh my
Thank you very
God!
much.
You
How
can
much
take my
media
spot,
training
mate.
have you had?
I haven't had a lot of media training. Like, I've done a few. I think probably it spawns from the 20, 25 odd AFL interviews I've done over the course of this year. You get really used to asking the same questions or answering the same questions.
Yeah.
In saying that, like, you guys have been different, obviously.
Oh,
like,
very different, mate.
glad
You
we're
could say that.
Then I ask, which is good. It's a nice, refreshing change. But I think I've sort of been a naturally okay speaker. So.
No, you have indeed, mate. And I know this sounds like it's going to be boring from here onwards, pretty much, because once you probably won't be able to pop on too many podcasts once you get into the AFL, and
Those
that's
pesky
true.
social media managers.
You're-
Isn't that right, real car?
God damn it, man, I tell you. But no, this is probably like maybe if you get on a podcast over the next couple months, maybe. But before you get into the AFL, I think it's a good thing. Soak up all this. Enjoy. You going to leavers? I think.
Oh, I'm graduated, mate.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wait a second.
Are you first
Hold
year
up.
uni?
Yeah,
Wait a-
I am. This is something we should touch on.
I think
Yes.
we should. What are you studying, mate?
So I'm currently at Edith Cowan University,
I see you, nice.
up in Joondalup, and I'm doing
Joondalup.
a Bachelor of Biomedical Science with a major in forensics.
Hold up.
Go on.
Apparently you're bloody smart and you've got a really good ATAR. Please tell me I'm right.
Where have you heard this from?
Oh, questions.
Sources.
Actually, sources, mate. Watch it. 99 ATAR.
No. Look, I went all right in the books. I was nothing special. So I got a 84 ATAR.
That's pretty good, mate.
At the end of year 12, which I was
Hell
pretty happy
yes.
with. I actually got a early offer from my year 11 results, which were a lot better than my year 12 ones. So all the sort of added pressure of year 12 was sort of taken away pretty much straight away.
Nice,
tick
good man.
correct with
That's
that.
a big tick right there. Thank you.
Yeah, but in saying that, I was still pretty happy with how it went. It was sort of a juggling act towards the end there with WACE exams and the end of football season, but I was pretty happy coming out with an 84.
Okay, Jessica, if you're listening to this right now, you put a ring on this man right now before I do, and you're probably too late, mate. So I'm sorry about that. But yeah, bang straight into that. That's really good. Biomedical science, ECU. Are you gonna do part time? If you do, if obviously potentially if you get drafted, which is looking likely, but what would you do in that certain situation if you get drafted and go to part time? Is they flexible with that?
It's something I've tossed up a bit. I think being able to sit in that AFL space and see what what Elijah and Ruben did. I think that initial adjustment into a AFL environment, it's pretty tough, and I think you could probably deal without that little added bit of uni. But I think, I'd love to keep completing that course. You never know how long you're going to be in the system, and it's something that really interests me. So I think you get 1 day a week, you can just do a unit on the side, and then see how you go.
Yeah, nice. Well, I'm think that wraps up that, and I think because we've got so many questions, we're going to run out of time, but we're gonna go through these sort of like a rapid fire, but you can take your time with.
I'll try and keep
whichever
them
one.
short and sweet.
Yeah, I always say that as well on the podcast, but it always turns into like a 40, 50. And Stewie's looking at me. He's like,
Just go.
Yeah,
Just
sorry.
go, mate.
Okay, let's go. Okay, starting off the top, it's question time. PS_topless. If you were to play a pro in another sport, what would it be?
Play pro in another sport.
Yeah,
I think. Great question, PS. I think
Golf ball
I'd-
picking up. Golf.
Yeah, golf. Nah, well, can't swing a golf club, can find a golf ball. I think it would be like athletics. I was huge on my little athletics growing up. I'd be like a
Sprinter.
not a sprinter, like a triple jump long jump.
That was hard, wasn't it?
Mate,
I
I
thought
went
that
all
was
right.
You got the combine in the next week.
Yeah, so like the
Thursday.
vertical jumps, like you
Is
get up
there a
and about.
triple jump in the combine?
Okay, may the triple jump god please praise this man
Rain
right
down on
yeah,
me.
you rain
Yes,
down on
yeah,
this
yeah.
man right now. Jake Colford, what's your biggest career ambition and what are you aiming for? We just touched on that a little bit before, eh?
Yeah, I think career ambition, it's obviously having a long, illustrious career in the AFL, playing some consistent footy. I'm not huge on personal accolades, that'd be nice, but ultimate team success, maybe bringing St Kilda or Fremantle a premiership, that'd be all right.
I wish I had a pen and paper for a freer contract right now, mate. Zakia Lamotte, king or queen bull? This is an inside joke, I think.
Go again.
Zakia_limit says king or queen bull.
I don't know.
Don't know what that is.
What that is. So
Pass.
I'm gonna, yeah,
I
no
guess
comment.
that's a pass. Josh_Petrella. How build? Geez, people don't know their English. How build confidence if you haven't had a good season and wanting to make Colts? I think it's because of the caption limit. I think
That's all right. No, he's done well there. If that's a caption limit.
Yeah. How do you build your confidence if you haven't had a good season and wanting to make Colts? But that's not the case because you've pretty much had a good season at Swannies.
He's asking for advice.
Is that him asking for advice?
Yes.
Stewie, you take it away, mate.
Yes, this guy's asking for advice.
I think probably just don't go into that panic mindset. I think just know that there's so many avenues to get to where you want to get to. I think having clear goals in front of you, little things that you can take week by week to sort of tick off. I think don't look like it's something I've had to do. Don't look towards November to the draft at the start of the year. It's more like let's just set goals week by week. So I think having a really clear layout of what you want to get
Nice.
done. I think that's
I think
that'd be
Nice.
I think whiteboards help. Isn't that right, Stu?
That's right. I just bought a whiteboard last
So
night.
happy
and
with
oh my
himself,
God.
man.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whiteboards get the job done.
It's,
Yeah.
it's a good purchase if you don't already have one. Zane Partridge, who do you support?
Saints.
St Kilda.
St Kilda.
Darcy Monty, what's your opinion on Blake Kelly? Absolute gun, and it wasn't sent in by Blake Kelly.
Yeah, right. That's Blake Kelly would never do anything like that. So I've had the pleasure of knowing both Luke Kelly and Blake Kelly, two brothers, absolute guns from Guildford.
Guildford.
Blake Kelly,
Represent.
2 or 3 years younger. I don't even know. He's up and rising young gun.
Midfielder?
Midfielder. So he's playing Colts as a 16-year-old and getting 25 odd touches.
Same
like
as
he's,
Luke.
Yeah. So his brother.
Yeah.
I hope they're mates. Luke
yeah.
Kelly, doing the same thing, but our
recovery.
age. But yeah, he's an absolute gun, and I rate him.
Shout
very
out.
highly.
Good one, Darcy Monty. Bodie_Derek is a regular. What's your top tip for young footballers in the making? That's a good one.
Top tip.
It's the top one. It's like, wake up in the morning. How am I, wanting to be an AFL footballer? How's that going to work?
I think, best bit of advice I can give is don't compare yourself to other people in your situation. Everyone develops differently and everyone goes on a different journey. You look at, I can't name a specific player right now, but boys that are entering, like Greg Clark from West Coast, he didn't get drafted straight away. He had to play like league footy at Subiaco, and then now he's
Tim Kelly.
Yeah, Tim Kelly, and now they're both on the list at West Coast Eagles. So
That's the fairest.
Yeah,
as
so
well.
everyone progresses differently, and you just got to stick true to yourself.
Here, man. Here. Daniel Morland, what are your top inspirations? Inspirations? It says inspirations.
So inspiration is Daniel Morland. I work with him, and he's just, he's a gun at what he does. Shout out Daniel Morland.
Salute.
Aspirations, probably, obviously AFL's a huge one, but I think another one would be pursuing that degree, that biomedical science degree.
Nice. I didn't hear any golf in there, mate. But
Yeah, 'cause I'm not a golfer, that's why.
Georgia Cleaver, who is also, I think, an AFL draft prospect.
Georgie Cleaver, yeah.
AFLW
draft prospect, yeah.
Which shout out. Are you better than Evie at golf?
Ev.
It says Evie. Sorry.
Ev.
I'm butchering these
Evie.
today, aren't I?
Am I better? Yes, I am. And this will be very controversial. There'll be a little bit of backlash from the man himself, but until you have him on, I am the better golfer.
That's quite funny, quite humorous.
Cheers.
Sorry. I had to.
Hayden T. Powell, favorite former Swan Valley Cricket Club coach.
Hayden T. Powell.
There you go. Well done,
Nice.
Hayden. Shout out, Hayden.
We go way back. One cameo appearance season in cricket. I think my best was 16 runs, and I was averaging, would have been like 6 runs with the bat, week in, week out.
In a year, the Fox footy commentators are going to have to be like, this bloke has a cricket background, not a basketball background. He's got a cricket background.
This bloke could have gone both ways if he tried. Yeah.
Chase_Martison, hardest opponent played on. Definitely Chase, right?
No, I played with Chase Martinson, and he's a gun as well. Shout out to him. Hardest opponent played on was probably against Carlton's VFL side at Etihad this year, or Marvel Stadium. Jack Martin, who was sort of stuck in, or I think he was returning from injury, and he was playing on half forward. I was playing on half back, and he's one of those ones that talk to you. He's like, how you going? And then all of a sudden, like, boom,
yeah, like
he's
next,
gone, and I'm trucking down Marvel Stadium, going like, how is this bloke? Like, yeah, he was tough.
Oh my days, yeah, he is, and he's in some good form. So you've pretty much pushed him into the good form sort of category. I think what you've done in the VFL there, mate.
He wouldn't be where he is without me.
Yeah, exactly. That is exactly how you meant.
That's going to include
good mindset.
Terrible mentality. Yeah, we're not using that. Yeah,
Just cut that from the audio.
Next question. Elia PCH. Patch. There you go.
Sorry.
When you going to see me, sexy?
Aaliyah, I miss you very much. I miss going to school with you, and I will see you very shortly.
Oh, shout out.
Good answer. WA Footy Prospects. Sorry, mate. I'm taking your thunder. Why does your whole family follow my accounts? WA Footy Prospects.
We touched on that media stuff earlier, and I think, Dad loves reading into the media. He loves to see what people have to say.
He's
and
proud of his son. That's good, man.
Yeah, and
Good man.
well, I've got a beautiful support system at home with my 2 little brothers and my mum and my dad.
Shout out to the family.
Yeah, and they just want to see what's going on. I don't know why.
And shout out to Chris, by the way, who's an ex-Flagmantle.
He runs the page.
He runs the page.
He was
great
here
bloke.
for the first few episodes, actually,
Yeah.
but he's ventured off, done his own thing, done very well.
He's done very well. Great bloke as
Yeah.
as well. So
Absolutely.
lovely. Your next question.
Zai Gordon. Zai?
Zai Gordon, what did you think of Holy Cross? You can say bad things. It's all good.
Yeah, and I know that I've got free run here. I think initially when I moved in 2018, like I hated the joint. Like it's not huge. They weren't huge on their footy at that time. It was more of soccer school, and most of the friends I had to sort of, mingle with were soccer players. But I found it was actually a really good balance because it provided that, and this pretty mature answer. Like it provided that disconnect between like footy and my studies, and that's why I was able to take my studies as far as I wanted to because I wasn't thinking about footy 24/7.
Love that.
Yeah, but as a place, like it's pretty awesome. Like it's a good new
people
school.
though. Good people.
Yeah, and awesome facilities, resources, and a few gems of teachers.
And right next to Ellenbrook, or in Ellenbrook.
Yeah.
Ellenbrook's the best suburb of all time.
It's,
Yeah,
like the
Ethan-
Beverly Hills of the hood. Sorry, keep going.
You're so right with that.
Ethan Williams. Oh, I got you, mate. Is Harrison Creighton the most intelligent man you know?
Harrison Crichton, I'm
Right.
not sure how this bloke is still in school. He's
him
a
under the
very
bus.
he's a very interesting creature, and I love Harry Crichton, but few extra spelling lessons, vocabulary, it wouldn't hurt him. Wouldn't hurt you either by the looks of it.
yeah. I did like general in year 11, 12, and
That's good, mate.
it's pretty bruising.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he
That's
knows what
pretty
he's
good.
talking about with his cars, so full credit to Harrison Crichton.
There you go.
Shout out. Bray and Ethan actually sent one in. What feels better, your radar score or currently sitting equal top of your quiz leaderboard? Nice. So you're on top of their quiz leaderboard.
Yeah, I thought you guys didn't like Brian Ethan.
No,
I'm kidding. I'm just
No.
stirring.
Oh, you're not allowed to stir that pot.
I'm just
That is
stirring, and yeah,
I don't like Bray, but I love Ethan. I'm sorry, Bray, but that is true. Ethan is the hard worker.
We prefer Ethan because he's a Freo fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. But
Yeah.
nice recovery right there. Bray and Ethan, but yeah, you
Yeah,
did
top
sound
of their quiz leaderboard. How did that
yeah,
happen?
I'm really happy with that, especially because I did it so early on. So it was a bit. I reckon I was the benchmark. Oh yeah, all the boys want to beat hards. No, it's it's a great feeling and nearly better feeling than the 84 ATAR. Yeah.
Nice. I think that is. It stands
Probably
up.
more important than the 84 ATAR. might I
No,
suggest?
you want to
No?
win the. I think is it called the Greg Clark Medal?
Yeah,
Or-
yeah.
I can't wait to accept that at the end of the year.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's do swell. He's onto it. Rapid fire these ones. Hayden Cooch.
The
Hayden
Narducci.
Harkucci. I did not want to say that by itself.
This is the host of the Footy Yarn.
Oh,
Have you heard of that? Yeah.
Hayden.
Yes,
Hayden. Sorry.
Haydos. Yes.
Haydos. Sorry, mate. I didn't even realize that was his private account.
Coochie.
Who's a better footballer in their prime, him or his dad? Wow, that's the one I was talking about before.
Yeah, there you go. I think just to keep the crowd happy. Andrew Hardeman was an absolute gun back in his day.
Shout out to Dad right there. Hayden again.
This is a strange question. Who's your favorite character from Five
I
Nights
knew
at
this would
Freddy's?
come up. I knew he'd say this. It's Chica for obvious reasons, mate.
Oh,
We'll just
yes.
leave it at that.
Are you going to see the movie when it comes out?
I'm gonna see it with him. Yeah.
Oh,
I can't
really?
wait. Maybe you guys can tag along. Yeah.
Oh, there
Oh.
you go. Get some media coverage right there, mate. The Flagmantle podcast
Flagmantle
exclusive.
podcast sees Five Nights at Freddy's. I was a
I
huge
would-
Five Nights at Freddy's guy
I'd
when I was
cry.
younger. That was me. I was like the 13-year-old with the iPad, like playing the.
I can't do horror
But
movies.
me and my mates at school, like we used to play it just as a joke, and then
Yeah.
we kind of like got trapped in the lore of it.
Yeah.
Like, it was
Oh,
a bit
yeah.
weird, eh?
Like me in Minecraft in year 7, I was like, all over that sort of shit. But Bray and Ethan, they've also sent another one. What other word would you use to describe your footy experiences other than surreal? He knew it off by heart. Bray, what are you doing, man? What are you doing?
Insightful, valuable. I don't know. Surreal was a pretty good one, and I used it a few times
is
on their
surreal.
podcast. Yeah,
I don't think you've used that once in this, besides just
that's
then.
how much I've grown.
See, you're a benchmark right there, Bray and Ethan. V1 Erden for
This one will be interesting, I reckon.
How did you
looks
get
like
your
a
nickname Hard
bot.
Man?
Hard man.
Is that
hard
It's
at-
probably a rendition of my last name, Hardeman.
yeah? I don't know what he's on right there.
Verdurin?
Do you know? Yeah,
I do. Yeah, I went to school with him. He's from the hood.
he's from the hood.
Yeah.
Shout out to EB boys. Tom Smith, how did you find not being able to crack into the Swannies' second side? Did it affect you mentally? Hey,
No,
that is
you know what? That's a fair comment.
No.
It hurt me a bit. You know, you got the likes of Tom Smith, like Ben Hewitt, Luke Kelly, Lewis Zolney Owens.
Guildford represent.
Yeah,
Ben Hewitt.
but all household names for the Swan Districts, and I wasn't able to take my post at full forward, which was a bit unfortunate. But I'm just happy to see them succeed through the final series.
That's all that matters,
Tom
mate.
Smith again. Why is he his greatest accomplishment?
What is my greatest?
Why is he?
Is that
Wisey?
Wisey? I think is that
Who's
you?
Wisey?
Wisey.
Wisey.
Oh, Wisey. Okay, this is Lewis Zolney Owens, and
Zolnia.
last Saturday it was Bushy's 21st, and all the boys will know where we're going with this. I'm just going to leave it at
Another
that.
Guildford boy.
Yeah, okay.
You guys
Okay.
might not get it, but
Okay.
we're just going to leave it at that and see what happens.
Okay,
The
let's
people
see.
who know.
Last
and-
Saturday was his
The
greatest
real ones.
accomplishment. Yeah.
The real ones know
Yeah,
that.
everyone's know.
Okay.
What's the most logical thing you've ever done, Harry? That's what has us _29 said.
Yeah, so Evan Smith went on a podcast last week, the
Lovely.
Athlete's Mind podcast,
Aye.
and
Shout
he
out.
actually asked him the same question. And the most logical thing I ever did was switch my ears off when he was talking, when Harry Crichton was talking. Next question.
Brutal. There is only
This man
one
needs a
heart.
spot.
Do you have a right foot?
This is Dad. There is only one hard, and I do not have a right foot. But I do have what I'd like to think. Yeah, what I like to think is a better fitness base than you, old mate. I'm missing your dad.
Ooh, god damn.
I don't have.
Oh,
I'm
damn.
working on it. It's a work in progress.
Has
We'll
your
leave it at
dad
that.
ever
I
been
can't
in
kick.
Cal Toomey's top 20 mock drafts
Ooh.
ever?
Oh.
Don't think so.
Oh my god. Stop right now.
He's
That
going
was-
to come after you
Yeah.
guys. It'll be
He
might, he
controversial.
might.
Yeah.
He may not let us take you away for an episode ever again. Raphael and I'm so bad.
Durazio?
Durazio. Best hanger you've ever taken. Have you taken any? It's pretty hard. It's a really hard thing to do.
I took actually my league debut against East Perth at the start of this year. Only league game I played. But anyway, my first touch was actually a hanger, like right in full back. But it was actually a free kick, like someone pushed someone in the back, so it got called back. But
Oh no.
they got the photo of it, so I was pretty happy with that.
Umpires robbed ya. We're going to make these skedaddling
Yeah,
fast.
we're
Lawson Humphreys, best football moment so far. Ooh,
2021 Colts Grand Final.
nice. RJB_Australia. Have you always wanted to be a defender, or was there any other position you prefer?
I was originally a winger. That's where the wing talk sort of come from. But now I want to be a defender.
Good man. Okay, Kai.Barrett. What position do you prefer, mid or half back? There you
Half
go.
back,
Half
there
back.
we go.
Frederick 2_. Is he coming to free in this year's draft? Hey mate, that is a question for the recruiters. That is a
Not
good
one for me. I've got no
Yes.
say.
That's-
I'd be happy.
Wise decision right there. Bray Loveridge sent one in himself. Who has the best mullet in the state team? And speaking of which, we've got something to do, mate.
Oh, do we have to?
Yeah, we have to. We have to.
I'm so sorry for this. I'm so sorry.
This was Stu's idea. I'm sorry.
It was not. Okay.
Straight over to that mic.
looking
Thank you very
back,
much. We've got something.
brought in my mum's hair dryer.
Okay.
Car wanted your mullet to like flow in the wind.
No, it was not.
It's not in a right. I was wondering what the hairdryer was doing there.
Turn on the mic. It's all done. It's all ready to go.
Turned it off.
All you got to do is look at the camera intently and flick that mullet. It's for a video.
Wait.
Let's see. We've got this. Oh my god! Look at this. No.
Oh, I'm gonna get so much shit for this. Anyway,
Mate, you look splendid.
Anyway, more questions.
More questions. Yeah, he wants to get out of here. I
let's
don't
wrap
blame
it
you, mate. Brian Ethan sent another one. Wow, jeez. What feels better, your ATAR score? Oh, no, that's the same one.
It's the same one.
Come
Have
on,
we-
buddy.
Have we
No.
gone full circle?
Yeah, no, have we? No, we've got
No,
four more.
one more. 4 more to go. Callum Smith. Who's your best teammate and why, excluding Evan Smith?
This is Evan Smith's brother. My best teammate is. Oh, it's hard. At Swan, I'll keep it at Swan Districts. My best teammate's Luke Kelly because he always gives me handball receives on the outside.
Nice, love that. Josh.Can, do you remember your Swan District's development days? Obviously, you're still in it.
I do. Way back in the day. Yeah, I remember going down to Jubilee Reserve in Bassendean. That's the home of the Bassendean Junior Football Club. I remember training
Basso,
there. Yeah.
mate. Respect. I love Basso. Mrs_Hards.
Oh, mum.
Mum, how you going? Mum spaghetti or dad spaghetti? Oh, that's a cute
Oh,
one.
that's a good one.
That's a cute one.
It's an easy one, but I just want to give a quick shout out to mum. She'll be listening to this while she
Shout
goes on
out.
her run. Yeah, huge shout out. I hope you're travelling well. Keep running with the dog. And it's obviously mum spaghetti because dad reckons if you put like a little bit of spice, like fancy spices and a bit of chorizo, it makes it better, but it probably doesn't.
Dad's been throwing some
Dad's
thrown on the
copped it
bus.
a
Yeah,
little
he
bit this
has.
pod.
No, we love him. We all love him, and he knows that.
Oh, finally we're there. We're here. The last question. The reasonly hards. One hards.
Oh, we've already answered it.
Do you have a right for
It's a
it?
double up.
Why are they the double up? Why?
I don't know. You've sent them to me doubled up, so I
I've-
think it's your fault.
I think
Real
it is my
fella.
fault, but there's
think
actually one more. Bodie _ Derek. Opinions needed. Do you think pineapple belongs on pizza or not?
Ooh.
Done. That's a good one.
I'm just the average pineapple on pizza enjoyer. I don't hate it. I don't love it. I think if pineapple wants to belong on pizza, it can belong on pizza.
I love that, mate.
That's the attitude.
Now, pretty
Stay
much
neutral.
that pretty much wraps it up. Mate, Riley Hardeman, pleasure for having you on. I know we've gone for 54 minutes. You did not want to be here a minute longer, which is absolutely fair because I keep talking my ass off. But, mate, good luck for the draft ahead. No matter where you land, we're going to be extremely proud of yous and, stoked wherever you go. Hopefully you have a great career. And, pleasure for being on, mate.
Thanks very much for having me, guys. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Easy.
Mate, you
So sweet.
awesome.